Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a modern apartment building with an underground garage and a roof garden in Minecraft step by step, block for block, for all of your city building needs. In this tutorial, I will show you how to make the apartment building itself, the underground garage, the roof garden, the hallways and stairs that connect all of these things together, and of course the apartments themselves, which are split into 3 separate rooms. A living room / dining room / kitchen room, a bathroom, and a bedroom. These apartment buildings look great by themselves, but I have found that if you combine them together, 3 at a time, and place a park in the center of them, you can create a really cool feature for your city. Fun fact, I was hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. If you spotted me, leave a comment down below. The first person to get it right will have their comment pinned. And of course, this doesn't count as finding me, guys. This is the amount of space required to make the build. I would highly recommend copying this grid into your world, and if you do, to find the starting position, begin at the front left hand corner of the grid, count to the right, find the 5th block, that is where we start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 20 smooth quartz block extending up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then extend to the right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to also extend the 4th and 5th blocks all the way down to the ground. And just whilst we're here, extend across to the left and add an additional row of smooth quartz block extending up the initial row of 20, just like this. Then we can continue extending right from this block and place 5 more smooth quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to extend all the way down to the ground. Then extend all the way back up to the very top and continue extending to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3, and then all the way back down again. And then we can one last time come all the way back up to the top and extend to the right by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to start extending backwards that way by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can then extend all the way down to the ground. And then come all the way back up to the top again and start extending across by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, on top and out of the back of that block, place a grey concrete just to mark out that position because it will be handy later. Then continue extending your smooth quartz across the back of the build and join all the way back to this top corner of the build, the 20th block from the original row of 20. We can then connect our smooth quartz all the way down to the ground, just like this. And whilst we are here, we are just going to fill this entire smooth quartz shape that we have here in with smooth quartz. This is going to form a bunch of interior walls for not only the hallways, but the apartments themselves. Now, not only should we fill this left side in, but we should fill the entire back in for the same reason. And you know, whilst we're back here, we could just make the grey concrete part as well. So earlier we placed a grey concrete above and extending out of the back of that smooth quartz block. Well, focusing on this one, we want to extend back by a further 3. 1, 2, 3. Then across to the right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then extend towards us by 2. 1, 2. And then to the right by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then extend forwards by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then we can extend and join back to the building, but we are also going to connect some of the corner blocks all the way down to the ground so that this forms a solid shape. So that corner, for instance, and this one, and we've got a few back here. That one. And then probably just this one, and that will give us a pretty good picture. I always just find it easier to join some of the corners down so that we get a pretty good idea of the shape of what we're building. And I think that we've managed to do that. Now, since we are still here, I feel as though that we may as well just fill this entire left side in using grey concrete. This will once again just form the exterior hallway wall, and there's not really too much detail to be had here. We could possibly add some windows a little bit later on, but I think that that's going to be a personal choice that we will tackle later. Nice. So now that we have done that, we are going to move around to the back and do the exact same thing. Although, now that I think about it, and I didn't do this in the original version, I think that we might involve a bit more glass along the back of the build here. So over here on the right will be a set of elevators or lifts, if you're feeling British, that will take us in between the floors. They don't work. But there will be some far more functional stairs just to the left where I'm building now. And I think that it might actually be nice to have a set of glass on the back of the building here that actually displays those stairs. So I think that we might test that a little bit later. But for now, we are going to continue and just extend these 2 blocks all the way down, or in my case, we're extending up. We're going to meet them in the middle. And then we can just fill this small section in as well. I think that it's about time that we start adding a bit more detail. So, starting from the bottom of this row of grey concrete, we will place 1, 2, 3 light blue stained glass pane extending up. And then above this, 2 grey concrete, 3 more glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 2 more grey concrete, 1, 2, 3 more glass, 1, 2, 3, 2 grey concrete, 3 more glass, 1, 2, 3, and then just a single grey concrete, which we will extend to the left. So we will also add a row of grey concrete on the left that will just extend all the way down to the ground. We can then join the grey concrete rows that we placed a little bit earlier to the building, and then we are going to fill in all of these empty sections with glass, except for this bottom one. So the bottom one is going to be an entrance, and we just want to have kind of like the half-filled section there. Perfect. So now that we have done this on the back, we are going to move around to the front, all the way over to this left side, and we're going to do a similar thing. So, starting all the way down at the bottom again, we will place 1, 2, 3 glass extending up, followed by 3 grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 glass, 1, 2, 3 grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, 2 glass, 1, 2, 3 grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 glass, and then just a grey concrete. And that will give us this. Now, once again, we are just going to add a row of grey concrete that just extends just to the right and then all the way down along the side of the building. We will join all of the grey concrete rows to the right, and we will also fill in all of these windows with glass except for the bottom bit, which is going to be a door, so we'll just have the half filled in section there. And whilst we are down here as well, which honestly that should just be the title of this video, is whilst we're here we can add a small smooth stone path that just leads to the entrance just like this. And I'm always in 2 minds about this. Does it look better to have the interior floor material, which is oak, come all the way underneath the glass, or does it look better to have the smooth stone? Part of me wants to think the stone. We could even split the difference, and we can have grey concrete here and have oak planks there, which isn't splitting the difference at all, that's doing something completely different. Well, anyway, since we have somehow ended up at the front of the build again, we are going to fill in this front wall. And it's very similar to what we just did. Starting at the bottom of this empty space that we have, we will place 1, 2 light blue glass extending up, followed by 3 smooth quartz, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 glass, 3 quartz, 2 glass, 3 quartz, 2 glass, and then quartz. And we can join all of the quartz to the right, and then the glass can follow. That is actually where the bathroom will be. on the inside the build. Now that we have made that set of windows on the left side, we actually want to do the same here on the right, and it's the same method. We place a row of smooth quartz to join together at the bottom, and then on top, 2 glass, 3 smooth quartz, and we will repeat this extending all the way up. And now I'm just going to join the quartz together left to right, and then we can just fill in the gaps with the light blue stained glass pane. And that will give us this. The next thing we are going to do is add the separating balconies between each floor. And it's really simple. So we have the first set of windows and the second set of windows. In between them are 3 rows of quartz. We take the one in the middle, which is this one, and we place a row of smooth quartz block, joining the 2 together. And we do this wherever we have a set of windows. So we just hop up in between every single window section and we join those together. Nice and simple. Next, we are going to come all the way down to the bottom here, remove this row of grid, replace it with smooth quartz, add some light blue stained glass pane on top of it. We will then add a row of smooth quartz slab underneath the row of smooth quartz above us, stick some light blue stained glass pane on top, and then we will repeat this above. So smooth quartz slab underneath, glass on top, smooth quartz slab, glass on top. And that will give us this. I just realised we do also have to add a row of smooth quartz slab underneath the top here as well. And now we have one set of balconies. But this is a very fancy building. We have another set. So to make these, it's really simple. We find the original row of smooth quartz block that we placed in between all of the floors. We follow it along to the right. We place a row of 7 smooth quartz block, continuing to extend to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then extend backwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we join both up and down, just like this. Perfect. So not only do we do this here, we of course bump up to the next floor and do the same. However, we don't have to count anymore as we have this row here on the right, which we probably should have placed earlier, but somebody forgot. I'm looking at you. So next we are just going to drop all the way down to the ground floor again, and I am just going to dig the same row in the ground as we have above us, and replace this with smooth quartz block, stick some light blue stained glass pane on top, and then same as we did before, we'll add a row of smooth quartz slab just underneath the balcony, and then we will stick some glass on top. So slab underneath, glass on top. And this time I'm not going to forget the very top here, and that will give us this. Next we are just going to fill the remaining right side of this build in with smooth quartz block. This is going to be the bedroom wall for all of the apartments. Next, we are just going to head inside and work on some of the interior walls for the apartments. The easiest wall to add is a row of smooth quartz block that extends from the edge of this balcony and just all the way across the entire apartment building, like this. However, we can also add a row of smooth quartz here, and we can add a row of smooth quartz here. That's a bathroom. That is one part of the balcony, and that is the other. And we can also continue extending this row of smooth quartz all the way across to make the bedroom area. And that covers the interior walls of the apartment building. Now, I don't know how is easiest to extend this all up, but I have an inclination that if we just extend this really long row up first, and then focus on the smaller rows, that's probably the best way to go about it. Now, of course, these rows are not blank for the inside of the apartment buildings, but it's certainly a lot easier to work with a blank wall than try and build in just a bunch of glass and stuff, so that's how we're gonna do it. So that's the big one, and then let's just hop in here and add these smaller ones. The only part that may be a little bit annoying is adding the floors after this, but it would kind of equally be annoying anyway if we were to add the floors first and then had to individually make all of these walls inside of them. Unfortunately, like, no matter which way you slice it, one task is going to be more unpleasant than the other. So those are all of the outer rows, and now we can just make the separating wall for inside of the apartments. I think that we'll actually start adding some floors in as well. Let's start all the way down at the bottom. So, for all of the balcony sections, I'm going to use oak planks as a base. So, just remove the grass on the ground floor here. It's also an option to join the two balcony sections together, or you can leave them separate if you want. It certainly makes filling the floor in easier if you do join them together, so you can create a small hole in this wall in the exact same position that I have just here, and then you can walk through and remove and replace all of that grass with oak planks. We, however, cannot do the same thing with the bathroom area though, so I'm just going to hop in here and replace all of this with oak planks. We may even leave this until a little bit later on actually, but that will also be majoritively oak planks. So for now, let's just do the actual balcony sections. The floor for every floor, which sounds like a weird thing to say, but I think is accurate. The floor for every floor will be right where the glass is, so the smooth quartz block underneath the glass, that's where the floor level is. And we can make the same doorway to join the two sets of balconies together, and I think that we've just got a couple more. It's a little bit finicky because we have all of the glass and what have you placed with the balcony, so I keep like hitting my head and losing my flight, unfortunately, but it's all good. One last one. Why did I do that? I could just do that instead. Right, so now we have all of the balcony floors, and a cool part about this, by the way, is where we placed the smooth quartz slab earlier, right? We are going to extend that all the way back underneath the exposed oak planks for every single floor. So we don't want to see any oak whatsoever from underneath, which you would because this is an apartment building, and as you're walking around you would 100% certainly see that. And I suppose that we can do, it's a bit weird, so up here we are just going to fill this in with smooth quartz as we are up here, and we will also add the smooth quartz slab as well, but it's a little bit different because of course there's nothing above this, but we will still apply the smooth quartz slab like there is. Because, as you are going to see in just a second, now that we have placed all of the slab to cover up the oak, we are going to remove the first layer of... Oh. Well, that's anticlimactic because I forgot to do it in here, but that was a massive failure, but this is how it's meant to look. I'm so dumb. So basically, and in here as well, I forgot all of them. Okay, well, we're just going to take care of that now. I think I have amnesia. Alright, so now that we have officially done that, we can basically just peel away the first layer of smooth quartz slab, and I'm going to recommend that you only do it from the front, so you could do it on the sides here for the balconies as well if you wanted to, and you might prefer that effect, and we can test it out if you like, but my recommendation, I think, is to just peel away the first layer just from the front of the build. And it's so subtle, but because this build is mostly smooth quartz, like, all of these depth effects are really important. And yeah, I don't know, I prefer these to this, but ultimately you guys can have it any way that you like. But I think that looks really cool. And when it comes to getting in and out of these balconies, we do just have to make some doors as well, which I just think is easier to do now. So we basically just remove the 3 middle rows of smooth quartz, which, I mean, 2 blocks to the left, 2 blocks to the right if you can't find the middle. And then we add some glass here, just on the left and right side. And as we are here, which once again employing our catchphrase, we may as well remove the grass from inside of the bedroom area and replace it with oak planks. Now, we aren't going to do this for the entire apartment. I think that we'll tackle the living room / dining / kitchen by themselves, but the bedroom is pretty much almost all oak planks. So we'll do that there. And then here, this balcony, we are going to remove, we'll leave a gap of 1, and then we'll remove 2 rows like this, and you can go all the way up to the top like so, or you can just kind of like leave it the way that we had, so just like this, and then we'll add a row of glass pane here on the left. And I am considering, you know what guys, I'm gonna go back on what I said already. I think that we are just going to replace all of the floor with oak planks. Now, the reason that I was apprehensive to do this is because there is a choice to make the kitchen area a checkered black / white concrete instead of the oak planks, but it's actually a really small area, and I think it would be really beneficial to get the majority of these floors put in whilst we are doing the entrances / exits. So that's pretty much just one entire floor done there. I think that's looking really good. And now let's just hop up to every single floor and do the exact same thing. So once again, I am going to just do the interior floors as well. I just think it's beneficial to do it now. And then once we've done the bedroom balcony, we can hop over to the, I don't even know what to call it, the living room balcony, and we can do the exact same thing. But it differs in the fact that it is only 2 rows thick rather than the 3 rows, or wide I should say. 2 rows thick, 2 rows wide. Is there even a difference in what I just said? then we can hop up to the next one. I think that we are halfway done. Last one now. I think that now is actually a good time to pop into each one of the apartments and add the ceilings. So the ceilings are made using smooth quartz block, and we just place them underneath all of the oak planks, just like this. So inside of every apartment we have the appearance of oak planks as the base, and we have the smooth quartz as the ceiling. And since we're in the bedroom right now, we are going to leave a gap of 1, remove 2 rows across the wall like this, place oak planks in the ground, and then add a row of light blue stained glass pane like this, so that we join the bedroom to the rest of the apartment. And then we can fill the ceilings in here with the smooth quartz. And we can also make the bathroom door as well. So facing this wall, we leave a gap of 1, 2, remove these 2 blocks, place an oak plank here, and then inside here we actually didn't make any of the bathroom floors, did we? So what we can do is above each window, as we extend up this little tower that we have, above each window, we can just place a row of smooth quartz block like this, with then a row of oak planks on top. And we are kind of like trapped in this little chamber that we're making, but we can continue to do this. So we can just, above each window section, we add the smooth quartz, and then on top of it, the oak planks. And this will basically just form the bathroom for every single part of the building. Now, on this top level, we don't technically speaking have to add this smooth quartz because there's not really anything above this, but this is the top floor, and the door will be here. So we can just replace these 2 oak planks here, and that will be the door into the bathroom. But I do want to hop down to where we were. So we were on the ground floor, weren't we? And there we go. So this is like the layout of the entire apartment minus the door, which takes us out into the hallway, which, by the way, is parallel to this door, meaning that is where the door is that takes us out into the halls, just like this. So you can just pop those blocks out as we just hop up to the next floor as well, because we're going to do the exact same thing up here too, because it makes most sense, I think. So hopping up onto floor number, would this be the first floor or the second floor? I think that the ground floor is the ground floor and this is the first floor. So this is the first floor bedroom ceiling, and then we remove these 2 rows, replace those with oak planks, add the glass here, and then we can do the ceiling in here, we can do the front door, and we can do the bathroom door as well. And once again, it's the same thing on every single floor, so I am going to be quiet. mostly quiet. So once again, this wall, we leave a gap of 1, 2, and then we pop the door here. And then do remember, opposite these two blocks in this wall, just a 2x2 square, you can stick some oak planks there as well. That rhymed, and then we can pop up to the next floor, which we're halfway now, so that's cool. Alright, moving on to the final floor. That happens so often. Oh, I guess with this final floor, we don't have anything to place the blocks underneath of, but do remember that just above the window line, basically, is where the ceiling goes, so. And we have already done the bathroom here. I'm not even certain that, yeah, that does line up. That's perfect, and we do have to make the rest of the ceiling. So now that we have the structure of every single apartment complete, we are now going to finish the outside. So come all the way around to the back, and first of all we are just going to add a smooth stone pathway that leads to this back entrance. Although I am tempted to do as I did on the front, which is add a grey concrete here, oak plank here, and then just smooth stone along the side. We are then going to place a row of 3 grey concrete right of this grey concrete, so 1, 2, 3, and then we will just extend to the edge of the grid or the path, whichever one you want to do. And then along the inside here, we are going to place an oak wood here, and then an oak wood here, so it's basically just 2 rows away from the wall here, and then 3 rows away from each other. We'll stack another 2 oak wood on top of those oak woods, stick some oak leaves all the way around the top, just like this. And then we will place oak leaves on top of this little square to form 2 trees. Just like this. So in addition to that, we also want to place a grey concrete here on the very back corner of the grid. If you've not made the grid, you leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then place the grey concrete here, and then we just extend across, and we join said grey concrete to here, and this is basically going to be the entrance into the underground garage, but we do also just want to place a patch of oak leaves just in the back of this empty space. I didn't know what else to put here, and a big patch of leaves just seemed to fit the bill. It basically just sits like right in the middle of the empty space, the rectangular shape that we have. So we're not going to make too much of this, but we are going to dig out some of the entrance into the underground car park. So first of all, let's just remove all of the grass and grid from inside of this grey concrete shape that we've made. Now, coming back to the beginning of it, here, we are going to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 smooth stone, extending this way. And then we will place cyan terracotta, joining to this wall like this. Then we are going to remove another layer of dirt slash, I guess it's just dirt actually. Remove another layer of dirt inside of this space. Up to here. And then in front of this, we will place a row of 1, 2, 3 smooth stone along the side. and then cyan terracotta in front. And then we are going to remove another layer of dirt. Then, in front of this, we will place 1, 2 smooth stone, and then cyan terracotta in this gap. And then we will remove another layer of dirt. Then we will place a row of smooth stone along the side here, and then we will extend this way by 2, I think it's 3 actually, 1, 2, 3 to match the cyan terracotta, and then we will fill this little gap in, just like this. And then we will, once again, remove this remaining row of dirt, just like this, and then we'll place smooth stone extending along the side here, and then cyan terracotta in front. And we are just going to remove the sides, like this, and we are going to replace these with grey concrete. We'll have a bit more of this to do later, but that just looks a lot cleaner this way. Same thing on this side, so we're just making the walls of the outer part of the road. And then ultimately we will have to excavate quite a lot inside of the underground car park, but it's a bit easier if we do something else first. So we are just going to leave it like that for now, but you'd best believe we'll be digging in a bit. Next, we are going to head back inside the apartment building, and we will begin work on all of these hallways. So step 1 is just for us to remove the grass on the ground level. And I'm now thinking that after we remove all of this grass, we are, first of all, going to add a layer of grey concrete against this wall. So we're basically just going to extend this grey concrete here back, leave a gap of 1 like this, and then we will extend the grey concrete all the way up to the very top here, join it across, and then we're just going to fill this in with grey. So this will streamline the hall a little bit, and it just feels a little bit more interesting in here for having this. It doesn't really serve a functional purpose unless you want to have 1 extra block's worth of space inside of your apartment, which you certainly could do if you wanted to. Perfect, so we have added that grey concrete, and then let's just fill in the floor with oak planks. And then from here, next, we are going to start making the structure for the elevators/stairs. So tucked all the way back in this corner here, we will have 1, 2 rows of a light grey concrete that extend all the way from the ground floor all the way up to the very top of the building. And these will give the appearance of elevator doors. But joke's on everybody else, because they do nothing. To the right of these, we will place 1, 2 grey concrete extending forwards like this, which we will then extend all the way up to the top of the building, which will help to box in these elevator doors that don't go anywhere. And now that we have placed the grey concrete, we will leave a gap of 1 to the right, place another grey concrete, dig 1, 2, 3 rows, replace those blocks with grey concrete, on the end place a grey concrete, and then we will extend the grey concrete blocks all the way up to the top of the building. So now we are going to add the actual floors in themselves. So the floors are already marked out for us. We have the oak planks inside of the apartments, and all we have to do is spread those oak planks all the way through into the hallways themselves and the stairs. So it's a little bit messy, and we probably will want to have these 3 middle blocks here. We most likely would prefer those to be grey concrete, but everywhere else, oak planks. And I do realise that this is a little bit tricky because it's quite cramped in here, but you know what? Them's the breaks. So that's 1 layer, then we're just going to move up here. It's really these stairs that are the main offender, and of course, grey concrete, can't forget that. But the annoying thing is actually, we're probably going to have to remove quite a lot of the oak planks in those stairwells, but we will need some of it. There we go, and then we'll hop all the way up to here. I'm not going to forget this time, the grey concrete goes in between these rows. Perfect, so I'm just going to hop all the way down to the ground level because we have a good amount to do on each floor. So, step 1, we will place grey concrete across the top of the lift. We will place a stone button here, so it looks as though that we can call it. And as a matter of fact, we can just place grey concrete, can't we? Just across the top of the entire section here. We will place a light blue stained glass here above each one of these doorways, and then we will fill this middle section in with glass as well. Now, the stairs themselves are housed in this area, and they start like this. So we have a smooth quartz stair here, leading all the way up to the next floor, and the goal really is to have as few blocks destroyed as possible. But now that I'm thinking about it, I guess it doesn't really matter that much. As long as we have the middle row here, so from the grey concrete to the grey concrete destroyed, then that's all good. And I don't want to forget to add upside down stairs underneath these stairs as well, because we can see them. I think it is important that they look nice. And actually, this is a perfect opportunity for us to add this section in. I don't know if you remember me talking about this earlier, but I think that on the outside here, we should be able to see the stairs. So I think that we'll have a similar setup to what we have inside. So we'll have a long row of grey concrete, or just like one row here on the left, and we'll have one row visible here on the right, just all the way up to the top. And then we will have the middle section of stairs visible here. So all of these blocks that I'm removing are going to be majoritively glass, but we are going to have, so where the oak planks are, we will have grey concrete, and I think that this will make a really nice addition, and it will also make it so that we can actually see what we're doing, which I think will be very handy. Yeah, see, I think that just looks a little bit better, don't you? I think so. I think that that's a pretty cool feature. So from here, we can just fill the entire back of this in with glass. It strikes me as a little bit weird, only because it's a row of 4 glass. Like, we can see almost all of the floor, whereas like on the front, like where we have windows, they're either rows of 3 or rows of 2. But I suppose it's nice to have a bit of a variety, isn't it? So we can have that, and then we can just join the top of this. Although, actually, so at the very top, since we are here... No. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. So we are just going to pop back into the building, and we are just going to make all of these stairs. So let's move up to the next floor, and we'll do the same thing. So a row of grey concrete just across the top here, and then we add in the glass into the middle. 1 glass here, 1 glass here. If you want to add doors, you can, but I don't know myself. I might decide later, but then we can add the next set of stairs heading up to the next floor, and we'll just have 1 oak plank on the end. And before I forget, because it's really easy to forget these things, I am just going to place the upside down smooth quartz stairs just underneath, so like that. And then we can just pop up to the next floor and then do the same. This might be the last one. If not, there's only 1 more. So glass here. Oh, I'm not smart. Grey concrete across the top, stone button here, glass here, and now I'm just going to pop back downstairs because I'm almost certainly... Yep, I forgot the stone button next to the elevator. And we can just pop back up to here, and then we can add the stairs here. Then just going to head back down. I'm paranoid about the stone buttons now. I keep forgetting that I've forgotten them on every floor. But we do just have this last one. The first thing I'm going to do is stick it on here. There we go. And then grey concrete across the top. Just like this. And grey concrete here too, I guess. And then we can add the glass. And things are a little bit different actually, so that's perfect. But we do still need one more staircase leading all the way up to the next floor, which is the roof garden. And we're not going to make this quite now, but the roof garden will literally like be right here. But we'll wait to do that. But we can install the stairs and make sure that we've got the upside down smooth quartz stairs underneath just like this. And now that we've done that, and we can just check these from the outside, which is rather handy, that looks cool. Now, before we do get a bit too far ahead of ourselves, we are just going to add the final details onto every single floor. So, for instance, the entrance into each apartment, we will have a dark oak door on the right, light blue stained glass to the left, light grey carpet in front of this. To the left, a grey glazed terracotta with an oak leaf on top, and to the right, a flower pot with a fern. And then we can have either a doorbell or a sign which just outlines which floor we're on. So like, you know, either a 1 here, or you can have a button. It's up to you. And then we are just going to add some paintings just along this wall. So a 1x1 here, and also here, and here. So here, here. I did also consider, like, right here might be a good idea for just a single window just on the side. I don't know why, I just kind of like the look of it. And then if you wanted to, we could also stick, we've got enough room for some 1x2s just along here. And I don't know, I do kind of like it. I'll tell you something else that I did consider dabbling with as well, is adding some smooth quartz slab to the ceiling here, because in the apartments, this is the arrangement that we have. We have the oak planks as the base, and we have smooth quartz above us. And I think it would be... See, I think that looks better, doesn't it? I think that looks better, I have to say. So we can apply that to every single floor now, and yeah, I guess we're gonna head up. Why am I doing this? I've literally just built stairs. So I'll tell you what, I'll actually do these ceilings for all of the hallways, and then I'll do all of the details, because annoyingly, we actually had like every single material that we needed on the hotbar minus the smooth quartz slab here. And I would prefer just to, I would prefer not to have to keep swapping things out, so. I do believe that we've just got one more. Yeah, so technically speaking, like it would go here. So it would just go half a row above the window. So I am just going to add this, even though we don't have anything to place it on per se. But it would go here and will go here. So that's perfect. And now the material that we are lacking is just the pale oak sign. And just to remind you, step 1, we add the door to the apartments and the glass next to it, the welcome mat, the plant to the left, the different plant to the right. This is floor number 4, I believe. We're all the way up at the top. So we'll have... I hope that I'm right, otherwise I'm going to look silly. So 4 here. And then we can have the various paintings. So we've got the ones... I don't care if I repeat, by the way. Just because I don't want to spend forever messing about with paintings, which I have in the past. But that is okay. Yeah, you see, that just looks good to me. And, oh, of course, right in the middle here, just a single window, I think. And then we can pop down and we can do the other two. I do believe that we're halfway. So this should be floor number 3, right? Why do I keep typing 2? Ha! We got our first double. Nice. Right, last floor now. Right, now, finally, floor number 2. Wait. Oh, wait, no, I hope I'm not wrong. Okay, we're gonna have to check. I've got a bad feeling I'm wrong. Right, so, in theory, okay, yeah, oh, okay, nice, we've done it right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. So those are all of the hallways, which I think look quite fantastic. Let's take a look at these yeah, I think that those windows are quite nice and tasteful. I'm quite happy with those. I think that the logical next step is to head all the way up to the roof garden and work on this. So, step 1, we are going to come all the way to where we have these oak planks here, and we will place 2 smooth stone in front of them, 1, 2, and then we will extend these smooth stones all the way over to the left, and we will remove these grey concretes here and replace them with smooth stone as well. And we will extend this smooth stone, so we'll just remove that, we'll extend this smooth stone all the way to the very to this position here, and then we will fill this side in with smooth stone. We should make the walls because this is going to get confusing real quick. We will make this right side here smooth stone, like this, and then just off to the left we can remove these 2 rows of grey concrete / smooth stone, smooth quartz. We can remove that as well. And we can also remove these rows here. And these back rows, actually. Yeah, see, this is getting confusing, but I'll show you what this looks like in a second. It should make more sense. So let's just take a look before we get too far ahead. There you go. So we've just removed those rows. Then we can just fill this entire section in here to the left with grass. Then we are going to add an extra row of grey concrete everywhere that we have like grey concrete, just around the outside here, around the stairs, just anywhere that we have it. Then we can continue and connect this grey concrete to that grey concrete, kind of just going all the way around the smooth stone that we've placed and the grass. And this makes up the actual roof garden itself. So it's up to you whether you just want to have like 1 row, or I would recommend 2 rows of the grey concrete. Just all the way around. I'll tell you where you could skimp actually, it's just like on this inward row here, you could just have the 1 if you wanted. We have to extend the elevator, so we want 1, 2, 3 rows of light grey concrete here extending up, And then we can just add some housing to this in the form of some grey concrete. So just kind of like cover all of that up with grey concrete. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then we just need a button. So we can stick a stone button just right here so that we can call it. Then we have to make some clotheslines. So in the corners here, we'll just extend it inwards diagonally and place 1, 2 iron bars like this. And then we can place 2 white banners extending this way, or any color of banners. And then iron bars on the opposite side. And they kind of sort of almost look like clotheslines if you use a bit of imagination. We'll do the same thing over here as well. So just 1, 2, then leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, add some banners. Then we want to add some tables in between these. So these are made with spruce trapdoors. We leave a gap of 1 and then we place 1, 2, gap of 1, 1, 2. And these line up with the banners basically. So we flip up these, add 2 rows of trapdoors extending across where the banners are. And then we flip up another set of spruce trapdoors like this. And then on these we can just add like item frames. And then in the item frames, we can place different clothing items. So I've just gone for a gold chest plate and some diamond leggings. And we can add some sea pickles on here. Maybe even some flower parts. Maybe a lantern. Maybe even a white candle or 2. Just basically clothes washing things is what I've went for. Then I'm going to stick a crafting table over here. Yeah, here, and a chest here towards the back. Then we will make a flower bed by placing 1, 2 oak slabs here and extending all the way across to the right, just like this. I'm then going to place a lilac extending in from each side, followed by rose bushes, followed by peonies, and then lilacs again in the middle. Then I want to make a hot tub, which really should probably be over here, but I want it here for some reason, I don't know. So basically, we just want to have a 2x2 square on the ground that we place trapdoors all the way around. And then we actually have to exchange one of these for a stair. And then water bucket in the middle. And then the base really should be either like spruce. We can probably even just use oak wood, actually. That's probably fine just for the inside, or maybe some oak planks might look better. Don't think it makes much of a difference, but hey, there we go. And then off to the right of this, we'll leave a gap of 1, and then we'll make a picnic blanket, which is just 2 rows of 3 red/white carpet. And lastly, we are going to place a flower pot here, 2 composters here, stick oak trapdoors on top of these, and you can have one of them flipped up. Then we will place a cake here to the right. 1, 2, 3 oak wood extending up here. We will surround the 3rd oak wood with oak leaves and then stick a layer on top. And here we have what I would call a cozy wozy roof garden. How did I not notice just this giant hole here? We should really fill this in with smooth quartz block. I don't know how that escaped my attention, but that should not be there. Okay. So now that we have completed the roof, we are going to head all the way in the opposite direction, and we are going to work on the underground garage. So, for the underground garage, we must first of all remove 20 rows of dirt going that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I could not even see at the end there. So I'm just going to remove all of the... Well, not that. That'd be a bad idea, wouldn't it? But I'm going to excavate as much dirt as I can without removing the interior floor. So just all the way over this way, we're going to remove those 20 rows. And if we do go a little bit further by accident, it's not a big deal. We should probably also pick up a light source as well. Okay, I've just picked up a potion of night vision here. We are going to dig and remove 12 rows this way as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And once again, we just have to remove all of this. So I'm going to start this side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I'm just going to try and join these two rows together. Hopefully I've dug the right amount, otherwise it's going to be embarrassing. Okay, perfect. So now we can just remove everything in between, and this is roughly the size of the garage, hopefully, if I've got it right. We might actually have to remove an additional row down, but it'll be a good start regardless. And by might, I mean we will 100% have to remove an additional row down, and then another row to actually make the floor, but that's fine. Perfect, so let's just remove one additional row from the floor because I 100% know that we need to. Perfect. So what we can now do is, I think that the easiest way to do it is actually to pop back up to the ground level inside of our apartment complex, and we can remove these oak planks here underneath the stairs, and we can dig down just like this, and we can install our stairs just like so. And we just have to place enough stairs so that they are parallel with the stairs above. So they will go like right here, I believe. So the stairs that we place go all the way down to our ground level here. So all the way down and level with where we have the smooth stone and the cyan terracotta, just so that we're on the same page. We can then add a row of grey concrete here next to the smooth stone / terracotta that we placed earlier. And then we can excavate this dirt here, and we can remove all of the dirt wall, and we will replace this with grey concrete. So we'll have this, because we of course don't want to be staring at dirt inside of a very expensive, fancy, modern apartment complex, just like this. And then we will have either smooth... We'll go for grey concrete, I think. So we'll have grey concrete underneath this. Just like so. And just to match upstairs, we'll have a row of like glass here on the right. Grey concrete. And then 3 rows, 1, 2, 3 of glass here. Which we will... Oh, we have to have the upside down smooth quartz stairs, don't we? We don't want to forget about that. And then we can build up these rows of glass all the way up to the top. We can stick a row of grey concrete on the end, leave a gap of 1, another row of grey concrete, and then we will place a grey concrete here up at the top, light blue stained glass like this, and then we can break into the little corridor that we've just made. And I have made a minor error, but it's not a big deal. We can then add some grey concrete here, just along the inside. Is there any more? So we can remove this block here, replace that block with a grey concrete, upside down stair here. We just have to make sure, it's really difficult, but we do just have to make sure that we have all of the right blocks surrounding us so they all matches nicely, as we've done there. And then we can have some smooth quartz just on the inside here. or rather, sorry, some smooth stone. We will then dig 2 rows in front of this, so 1, 2, and we will extend the smooth stone all the way around to here. The smooth stone pathway that we have for the road down into the garage, we want to connect it to here. And we also want to dig over to the left as well, and we want to connect it to here too. Then we can place a row of grey concrete here. We can remove the dirt inside, stick some light grey concrete behind this, then grey concrete at the top, and then we can stick a stoned button just like this. Now, here is where I made a slight oops, which is basically that we have to exchange these glass here for grey concrete because we have to add an additional row of grey concrete to the ceiling, basically. But I'm just going to add a row just all the way around this room for now because we haven't confirmed that we actually have enough space extending that way, but everything else has been right. But I'd rather make sure first. So this we will replace with grey concrete in just one moment. We've got our pathway. So the next thing that we are going to do is from the corner of this smooth stone path, we are going to dig 1, 2, 3 rows, replace those with cyan terracotta, stick a grey concrete on the end, and then dig 7 more rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and replace those with cyan terracotta, and then we will stick a grey concrete on the end. We will then dig 3 more rows, so 1, 2, 3, actually 4, my bad, so 4 more rows, replace those with cyan terracotta, and then at the very end here we will just stick our grey concrete, and that actually works out perfectly. So what that means is we can now just fill the ceiling in with the grey concrete. Just like this, and I'm running out of night vision potion, but I'm going to do something more permanent. If you play with mods, specifically World Edit, you can just replace the air for light down here. And now that we've done that, we can start applying some grey concrete to the walls. So I'm just going to add a layer of grey concrete just all the way around the base of our walls. Just all the way around the edge. And I've just noticed that I am stupid once again. So on this left side here, we add it around the edge, on the right side and the back side, but here we have to excavate the dirt to line up with the grey concrete that we already had previously. So excavate that, add that row, and then fill the space in between. And that would have been very obvious if I would have just looked at it for even just 1 second. I wouldn't have done that wrong. Nice. So now that we have done that, we are going to mark out the car parking spaces. So we can use the single grey concretes that we placed earlier. And we can place, we need a smooth quartz block, but we can place 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet extending across here from the grey concretes. And then we can dig, place a smooth quartz block, and then 3 more carpet, 1, 2, 3. And then we can, in this case, place a grey concrete. And then we can place another 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet like this. And then we can do a similar thing towards the back here, except it's kind of in reverse actually. So along the back, right next to our cyan terracotta, we can place 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet, and then dig and place a smooth quartz. 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet, dig, smooth quartz, and then 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet. And then we are going to extend the smooth quartz inwards. We will dig 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and extend the smooth quartz. And we'll do the same thing here. So from this grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, smooth quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, smooth quartz, just like this. And that gives just enough room so that you can actually get a car down here. And we can extend these grey concretes just all the way up to the roof so that they look structural like this. And if you did want to, you could also add an extra row of grey concrete here just so that it does, like, once again, just match everything. And the last step to this is just to remove all of the remaining dirt inside of the garage, so just all of the remaining floor basically, and we'll replace all of this with cyan terracotta. With the underground parking garage complete, we can now head up our stairs to the ground floor and begin work on the actual apartments themselves. To make this as economical and as streamlined as possible, we are only going to focus on one part of the apartment at a time for every single floor. And what I mean by that is, for example, we are going to complete every single bathroom on every single floor first before moving on to any other part. So, we're on the ground level, let's head into the actual bathroom, and in here we will place an upside down smooth quartz stair in the corner, spruce trapdoor either flipped up or down on top, 2 light grey concrete to the left, item frame here, flower pot here, we have to make a banner, so throw down a limb, open it up, light blue banner in there with white dye, apply a bend pattern and a gradient pattern, put black dye in and apply the bore draw pattern, grab that and also the block of iron and smooth quartz block whilst you're at it. We will apply the mirror pattern, let's try that again. We will apply the mirror banner here, and then in the ground we will dig and replace this block with a loom, and the 2 in front of it with block of iron, this one as well, then the 2 behind with smooth quartz block. We will then place glass pane on top of the smooth quartz blocks extending all the way up to the ceiling. Then we will stick a tripwire hook here, white banner here, end rod here, iron trapdoor here, and a stone button here. And this is the entire bathroom. And if you'd like, you can also add, say, like a bath mat or something similar here in front. I'm not sure if it's necessary or not. And you can also, if you would like, stick a door on this as well, whatever door you may see fit. Maybe just an oak door so that it's different from the actual apartment door itself. I don't know. But regardless, that's the entire bathroom, and now we are just going to jump up to the next floor and do the exact same thing. So once again, we'll just start with the toilet in the corner, light grey concrete to the left, light blue banner here, or rather the mirror banner here. I can't get that right. Item frame here, flower pot here. We can remove these 2 rows of blocks here. Loom in the corner, 2 block of iron in front, extend to the right, smooth quartz block to the right of that. Then the glass on top of the smooth quartz, tripwire hook here, white banner here, or vice versa. It actually doesn't matter, as if there weren't a banner there would technically be a hook. It's a towel rack, basically. And then an end rod here, iron trap door here, stone button here. I think I am going to go with the light grey carpet as well. Maybe across the entire thing might be better. I don't know. We'll do little variations. And then we can stick an oak door here. And then that's the last time that I will talk that through, as we've done it twice now. So we'll just hop up to the next floor and we'll do the exact same thing. And I think I'll even keep in the material changes as well. Kind of doing it in reverse this time, but only because I've built it so many times. I know that I've missed a block, but it's okay. Just missing the glass. And also, by the way, do feel free to change these apartments. Like, if you want to, say, stick the mirror here, or stick something else completely somewhere, just do feel free to change them if they're getting a bit monotonous for you. But that is every single bathroom complete now, and I think that that went pretty smooth. So we are now just going to head all the way back down to the ground floor and work on the next part. The next part of the apartments that we are going to build is the kitchen, and once again we will just build the entire kitchen on the ground floor and then just move up and up and up. In the corner of every single apartment we will have 2 rows of 3 block of iron, with an iron bar to the right of the middle block. We will then place a light grey concrete to the right, cauldron to the right, lever above it, another light grey concrete, 2 furnaces extending right, item frame on one, polished blackstone pressure plate on the other, a rail on top of one of these light grey concretes with a set of light grey concrete above everything that we've just made. We will then leave a gap of 1 from in front of this light grey concrete to this light grey concrete, and then place 2 rows of 3 light grey concrete like this, an item frame on one of these blocks, and then I'll just keep in the material changes this time. We will place a tripwire hook on one of these blocks and a white banner here. Once again, this is just like a towel rack or something similar. Brewing stand here somewhere, flower pot here somewhere, cake here somewhere. It really doesn't matter. Do feel free to jumble up what we have on this counter space. And then on the walls, we'll have a 1x1 painting here, and then also a 1x2 here, just like this. And then this is the option that I was actually talking about earlier. I don't know whether I prefer this or not. Like, I don't know whether it's too jarring or not, but we can dig around the island. That's what this is. And underneath the cauldron, don't forget that if you're going to do this. So that we've kind of just got 1 space all the way around, 2 on the ends here. And we can replace the floor with a checkered white concrete / black concrete pattern. And you may or may not prefer this than just having oak. Like, it does help to break the apartment up a little bit. If you wanted to, you could even add a wall in here as well, although that kind of defeats the purpose. So it's completely up to you whether you want to add that or not. Let's jump up to the next floor and do the exact same thing, or maybe not the exact same thing. We'll have to see. So let's swap all of these out. And in the corner here, we'll place the fridge, so the 2x3 rows. To the right, and also don't forget the iron bar. To the right, light grey concrete, cauldron, light grey concrete, 2 furnaces, item frame on one, polished blackstone pressure plate on the other, then a rail on top of one of these, lever above the cauldron, light grey concrete above all of these blocks. Leave a gap of 1 from in front of the light grey concrete to the light grey concrete, and then place 2 rows of 3 like this. We'll stick an item frame on one of these blocks, doesn't really matter which one. Grab the next set of materials, tripwire hook, banner. You could even do the same thing on the opposite side here or along this side. Again, it's up to you. Cake somewhere, brewing stand somewhere, flower pot somewhere. Then 1 by 1 here. 1 by 2 here. Perfect. And then we will... I'm going to change the floor only because it introduces like a little bit of an expanded color palette in the apartment. But I'm not sure if aesthetically it does look better or not. And it might be something that you want to like try after you've made the rest of the room. But regardless... that's another kitchen. I'm going to head up now and do the other 2. What am I doing? And that is the final kitchen. So now we are just going to harp all the way back down to the ground floor and work on the living room. Now we are going to make each and every living room. The first step is to remove the 2 middle rows of this mini wall here and replace them with bookshelves. We will place a scaffolding in the corner with an end rod on top and a grey glazed terracotta on top of that. Smooth quartz stair here, here and here, curved around to form a sofa. Leave a gap of 1 and then place 2 rows of 3 smooth quartz slab to make a coffee table. on this wall, we will have a small table made by placing 4 spruce trapdoors like this. So 2 right in the middle of the wall, and then just flip 1 up either side. Flower pot here, oak sapling here. Then we will grab item frame here. So I've got an item frame with a black banner in here to look like some sort of remote. If you wanted to customize this further, you could, and I do have a little idea, but first we'll place black concrete here and a painting to look like a TV. That's not the most TV looking painting, but oh well. So I'm thinking that maybe just one small change to the banner. If we just throw the black banner in there with red dye and apply one of the Canton patterns, so either one, maybe this will look a little bit more like a remote. Or does it look like less of a remote now that we've introduced the red? I actually don't know. So you can either leave it like that, or you can just change back to the black banner. I'm just going to keep it the way it is. So that's the entire living room, and now that we've done that, we are just going to jump all the way up to the next floor and do the exact same thing. So let's swap everything back out again. We will start off by removing these 2 middle blocks in the wall and replacing them with bookshelves. Small table in the corner in the form of a scaffolding with an end rod on top and a grey glazed terracotta on top of that. 3 smooth quartz stairs curved around to make a sofa next to it. Leave a gap of 1 and place 2 rows of smooth quartz slab to make a coffee table. We can make a small table on this wall by placing 2 spruce trapdoors in the middle and then flipping 1 up either side. Flower pot here on the left, and then we can add the TV remote here, item frame, and any one of the banners. And then we can have black concrete here and a painting here. I am wondering if it is possible to augment the banner. This might backfire. We'll see. We can stick that in there with some black dye, and we could apply perhaps the pale pattern like this. That might improve it ever so slightly so that it's not quite as big. I don't think that's bad. Okay. And then we could maybe... Will the fess take any off either? The fess might take some off. Or maybe I was thinking we could even apply like the ball-jaw pattern. This might be the winner, or this might have ruined it. The ball-jaw pattern might be the way to go, actually. That's not too bad. Ideally, we would add some buttons to it and what have you, but that would require further experimentation. If you've got your own ideas, feel free to add them. But that's the entire living room. So now we are just going to jump up to the next floor, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Perfect, and those are all of the living rooms complete. I will tell you that when I was designing this place, I was very tempted to add, say, like, red terracotta or something as a floor for the living room area, so kind of like as a counterbalance to the kitchen. But I did find that, and I'll show you now so that you don't have to like experiment yourself. I did find that I didn't quite like it exactly. I'm going to keep this one up here. Went the wrong way. I'm going to keep this one up here like this, but I don't really like it. Especially because you have to then to kind of like keep things balanced with the floor, you have to extend the kitchen one a little bit further out like that, and I just didn't like the balance of it. Like it just seemed a little bit weird. But if you do like it, then I've just shown you a new way to make this. Right, so we are just going to head all the way back down to the ground floor, and a part that I actually forgot is we have to make the outside parts. So on every single balcony, we are going to have a small barbecue, which is just 2 furnaces here and an iron trapdoor here. And then you can stick anything that you like on here. So you could have like a flower pot here, you could have item frames, you could make it kind of like a black top with a pressure plate. Whatever you want to do, that's up to you. And then in this corner, a small dining set. So 2 birch stairs like this, scaffolding in front, stairs on the opposite side, flower pot, lantern. Nice and simple. Feel free to add a painting or something if you like. I just don't like how it centers on the wall. Then moving over to this side. And then in this corner, we will have a grey glazed terracotta, oak leaf here, birch stair here, and then a birch sign to the right. And that's pretty much all there is to it for every single floor. So just to run through it again, 2 furnaces here, iron trapdoor here, flower pot here, 2 birch stairs here, scaffolding here, birch stairs on the opposite side, flower pot, lantern, head into the other side, grey glazed terracotta, oak leaf on top, birch stair here, birch sign here, and that's it. Nice and simple. And of course, the easiest way to augment these would be to change the barbecue in some sort of way. You could even change the little dining set to different colours. You don't have to stick with the birch, nor do you have to stick with the scaffolding either. Like, you can just do like a million little variations. I like, especially for the thumbnail and stuff, like I like a more uniform building. Like, it looks better to my eye at the very least, like if everything looks the same for the thumbnail and what have you, so I always usually keep things the same floor for floor. But if you are looking for something more realistic, then you would of course change some of these things, like even the plant pot to either a different leaf or a different colour plant or something, like, you know, anything like that is really simple. And there you go, those are all of the balconies, which means it's now time to head into the final room, which is the bedroom. In every single one of these bedrooms, we will have a lamp in the corner, which is just 2 end rods stacked on top of each other, and then a grey glazed terracotta, a scaffolding to the right, 2 light grey wool to the right of that, which we will extend 2 rows forwards. We can stick white carpet at the top here, and then along this wall, we will have 1, 2, 3, 4 smooth quartz slabs extending along the base of the wall, leave half a row's gap, and then have 1, 2, 3 slabs, and then leave half a row's gap again and just have 1, 2 slabs, like this. We can place a flower pot with a plant on the end, and then on the next rung up, we can have a lantern, like this. We also want to place a 1x2 painting above the bed, and then 2 light grey concrete in this corner, mirror banner here, item frame here. You can have just an item frame, or maybe we could even just chuck a flower pot or something there instead. And then in front of this, we will have a smooth quartz stair, and then tucked away in this corner, an armor stand with a chest. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I did originally try and add like a fancy light feature to the room. I tried adding some carpet, I tried adding a rug, I tried all sorts of different things, but I found that in the end I really just enjoyed this simplicity, so that's the way that I'm going to keep it. And now that we've done that, we are just going to head up to the next floor and do the exact same thing. But as I do like to keep droning on to you guys, do feel free to have the room exactly how you would like it. So in this corner, we are going to have a lamp, 2 end rods stacked together with a grey glazed terracotta, bedside table next to it, that's just the scaffolding, 2 rows of 3 light grey wool next to this popping out of the wall with a white carpet at the top, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 smooth quartz slabs extending along the wall, leave half a row's gap and then place 3, leave half a row's gap, place 2, stick some sort of flower in a flower pot on the end here with a lantern just on above on the next part of the shelf. Then we will place a painting above the bed, 2 light grey concretes here over in this corner, light blue banner here, item frame here, smooth quartz stair here, armor stand here, and a chest here. There we go. Once again, nice, super simple bedroom. And now I'm going to silently work on the next two. Probably not silently, because I can't seem to keep my mouth shut for some reason. I'm talking now. I don't know why it never occurred to me that we could just do it in the inverse like that, but I finally figured it out on the very last one. And I do believe with that final bedroom, right? Yeah, that's the very last floor. That is actually the entire apartment complex. Complete. With that final detail added, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our modern apartment complex with an underground garage and roof garden into our city. I think that the most obvious choice is to either place it in the modern downtown area, which I would actually quite like to do if there was room for it. When the suburban suburbs get revamped, this area here I think will start becoming a little bit more modern. I did also consider swapping out some of these modern suburban houses for the apartment building as well, or even placing it over here, but I actually really like this area and I don't really want to change it. Which of course brings us up here, and I did briefly consider sticking it all the way over here in this corner and further expanding this part, but there is another option, and that is to place it over here near the retail park. It's close enough to our collection of modern houses just behind us, and close enough to the uptown modern suburbs, and far away enough from Old Town to qualify as a really good location to start expanding the modern part of the city. I'm pretty happy with the result of this. What do you guys think? You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Minicity. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.